Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot. As you can see, I have another pick a card reading for us today, but this time it's going to be a very meaty guidance for 2024 reading. So, if there's any video that you watch from my channel in the next year, even if it's just one, this is the one I would recommend you watch because we're going to be covering relationships, we're going to be covering career, we're also going to be covering like spirituality and general life lessons and themes for 2024. We're also going to pick our piles by both a card and a deck today. So without further ado, let's do that. For pile number ones, I have the card Going Beyond Normal, as well as the Vivid Journey Tarot with the purple back. For my pile number twos, I have the card Inspiration with the Spacious Tarot. And for my pile number threes for today, I have the card Shock of the New and the tarot deck, the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. So whenever you are ready, my lovely viewers, to get your guidance and predictions in these different areas for 2024, as always, the timestamps are down in the description box and the top pinned comment of the comment section below. Drop down to either section to click on the timestamp for your reading, and I will see you in our discussion about your 2024 year ahead. Bye. Hello, my awesome pile number ones. Welcome to your guidance for 2024 reading for today. As I said in the intro, this is going to be kind of a meaty reading. We have three different sections to go through. We have first up career, then we have relationships, and then we will have spirituality and general kind of life lessons or themes to cap off the reading at the end for 2024. So first up, let's focus on your career for 2024. I'm going to put your pile leader up here for now. And your career, let's see, are these cards. And then I'll set the rest of them down here with me as we go through each section. We'll pull more out. Okay. So your career for 2024, pile number ones. Let's first look at predictions. So your tarot cards will be more about the guidance. We'll take a look at that in just a second. All right, predictions. We have Teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Okay. So likely a partnership going on with someone at work here in 2024 that's the same gender, sex as you. Then we have I, psychic ability, trust your intuition. All right, interesting. And then we have your two oracle cards. Set the Lenormand down here with me just for a moment. First up, we have diligence from the Sacred Destiny Oracle. Okay, doing your due diligence. And then your Hero's Journey Oracle is, set these down here just for a second, number 10, attune to the call, tune in and turn on. Okay, so we're being called towards something this year for your career, pile number ones. This is just the prediction section, so we'll get to your tarot and guidance in a second, but let me pull out the Lenormand too first before I get to the interpretation section. So Spirit, for pile number ones for career, can you give me a prediction for their career in the next year for 2024, please? 3 cards, please. Okay, let's see what pops out. We have the birch rods or the whip, repetition or harshness. We'll see what other cards pop out. That kind of that card really depends on the other cards that pop out. We have the ring. Okay. And then we have, let's see here, the owl's communication. Okay. So your cards for your career for 2024, prediction-wise, pile number ones, are deep friendship with someone of the same sex, psychic ability, trust your intuition, diligence, attune to the call, tune in and turn on, and then your Lenormand I would read as, okay, so reading it as a sentence would be, okay, repetitive partnership communicated is how I would read that with Lenormand. repetitive, partnership or promise, communicated, okay? So for your career for 2024 pile number ones, the predictions here are, obviously theme number one here is deep friendship with someone of the same sex. There's someone at your workplace for 2024 that either you already have a deep friendship with or you're going to make a deep connection with here. So someone of the same sex as you. Let's see if there's any other cards that really talk to that particular theme here. I get the sense for you, pile number ones, this is probably someone you already are at least acquaintances with at work, because especially with your Lenormand, it says birch rods, ring, owls, which is repeated partnership communicated. So I think it might be someone that you've worked with before, somewhat closely on a project, pile number ones, but I think the fact that maybe you're going to work with them again, hence the repetition theme of the birch rods here, or the whip as it's known in most decks, is you're going to work with them on another project or in some capacity where that repetition is going to create a higher bond or like a stronger partnership with them. So it seems like at least at work you'll have someone, at least one more deep friend by the end of the year of 2024, pile number ones. Yeah, definitely some sort of project you're probably working on together, or it could even be maybe someone that was in like a different department or worked at a different store, depending on the type of job that you have, and maybe they move closer to you physically, and that's why there's like a closer connection that's forged between you and them for some reason. Excuse me. Someone who you've worked with before in some capacity, but this time it's going to be a deeper connection and an actual friendship forged, it seems. So that's always a good news to get for you, pile number ones, for your career. Another theme I'm seeing popping up here for your predictions for career for 2024, pile number ones, is psychic ability, trust your intuition, attune to the call, tune in and turn on, and diligence. This is kind of the second theme of predictions for career. So there's some situation and or generally for the next year, pile number ones, where something's going to pop up where you're going to have to do your due diligence, hence your diligence card here, right? And make sure that the project or whatever the particular thing that you're working on is done right. And let's see. There's some sort of like catch with it or aspect of it that maybe other people don't necessarily notice that you will, because you're going to get a gut instinct about it, hence psychic ability, trust your intuition, and attune to the call, tune in and turn on. There's some underlying layer to this project coming up, pile number ones, in 2024 for you at work, or maybe a particular role that isn't necessarily communicated at the outset. That doesn't mean negative necessarily. It could be something very positive, but one piece of prediction here is just to keep an eye on excuse me, keep an eye on your projects and things going on at work this year and noticing things underneath the surface, or that you're going to start noticing things kind of underneath the surface. It could be that you haven't been at this job for a very long time yet, and of course the longer we're at a certain position or a certain place, more things start to kind of come out that we start to notice. So I just see like a expansion of understanding of either a project you're working on or the role that you work or the entire kind of company that you work for itself, that you're going to tune in and then you're going to have to trust your intuition and do your diligence with whatever that comes up. Okay, so let's see if the advice cards here give us a little bit more nitty-gritty as to what that is. For your advice cards, you received Four of Pentacles reversed, okay? That is a card of being more open or more free with things, not being stingy about things, not necessarily money, but generally Pentacles are the Earth suit, which is like fiscal, right? And then we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed, okay? That one I'm going to see what the next card is before I comment on it. And then the Sun reversed, okay. Okay, so there's something about your career or this project that we've talked about where you need to trust your intuition that's not clear. It might be that you're not given the best of guidelines for this pile number ones, hence the sun reversed, because that can mean a lack of clarity. And that's why when it pops up, you got the diligence card plus, you know, tune into the call and your intuition. You're going to have to kind of read between the lines here is one piece of advice that Spirit has for you for your career, pile number ones. And seek clarity, especially when it comes to getting details on like the scope of something, or like what does a finished product look like or project look like, that type of thing. Another piece of advice they're giving you is, especially with the Nine of Pentacles reversed, normally that's about happy, like satisfaction in the material world. Reversed, especially with the Four of Pentacles reversed, because the Four of Pentacles reversed is about, yeah, being free, being less stingy with things. I would say maybe be a bit more open and look for more open communication where you work at is another piece of advice, pile number ones. What does, I guess I would say a happily ever after in terms of these projects or these things that you're working on with other people look like, not only to you, but the other people involved. And that will help bring more clarity to these projects so that they go better, or these tasks, etc. So in general, your advice for 2024 for your career, pile number ones, is just to tune in a little bit more, trust your intuition on things, do your due diligence with gathering information is a common thing I'm seeing here, but also look out, like I said, for that person of the same sex as that card, teapot card said, that's going to make a deep friendship with you at work here, it seems. There could be someone that you could help lean on a little bit with either, you know, information gathering when it comes to this, depending on if they're working on the project with you or not. And also just someone to kind of rely on and confide in here, I'm seeing. See if there's any other themes with your career before I move on to relationships for 2024. Let's see, going beyond normal was your pile leader. Yeah, I mean, especially with the light bulb over her head, I kind of see your pile leader as the overall theme of every category this next year for 2024. Thinking outside of the box, pile number ones. Don't be afraid to brainstorm more openly with other people. I just see like a calling for just more open communication in general, more throwing around of ideas, not immediately going for like the first idea, but having more like, yeah, brainstorming sessions, I should say, excuse me, just so we can, at this place of work, you know, get down to the nitty gritty of what everyone is expecting, and being more open and not being so stingy with information, I guess, is kind of the vibe I'm getting from your workplace from these cards, especially with your Four of Pentacles reversed, because like I said, that's like being open, being free, and look out for situations where people are being stingy with things, either with, like finances or funding with things, also just being stingy with information, like they're not being quite clear. That's a very repeated message for you for your career for 2024, pile number ones. Okay, so that is your general reading on career for 2024. I'm going to clear the desk here, and we will move on to relationships for 2024. Let me shuffle the Lenormand in a second here. Okay, shuffle Lenormand. We'll pull those cards out in a second. Your relationships for 2024, pile number ones. Okay, this could be platonic. This could mean also like friendships. It could mean family. It could also mean romantic. So we'll see what pops up. Your tea leaves. Actually, your tarot, I'll just set down here with me like I did before, because that's more your advice guidance at the end. You received 4 predictions. Finger warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. Okay, so there's one thing, not to scare you, that Spirit's asking you to kind of keep an eye on for 2024 with your relationships. So there might be a little bit of a hitch somewhere. We'll see what more details come out with that. And then Gong, an exciting event. Okay, so maybe some new energy coming in this area for 2024, pile number ones. Okay. And your oracle cards are Hope. Okay. And Clear Out the Old. Okay, I'm already getting a theme here, but I want to get your Lenormand on the table before I say anything, because I just want to make sure that I'm saying things correctly. Spirit, could you give me a prediction for relationships for pile number 1 for 2024? Oh, okay, well, there we go. That one already popped out. Can you give me 2 more cards, please? Okay, that might be 2 right there. Let's see. It's actually 3, but I'll read them as 4. Okay. Once again, apologies if things kind of get covered. Okay. So, predictions for relationships for 2024. Yes. Your Lenormand is... Okay, so Lenormand, if you're not familiar, is a little bit different than other tarot deck systems, where it's kind of read as like a blunt sentence, I would say, with words strung together, and each card is like a word. So, reading this all as one sentence, pile number 1s. In your relationships, there is a fierce burden made clear to a community or a group. That's how I would read that, okay? A fierce, with the snake, a fierce burden made clear within a group or community. So there's something in your friend group, I think, pile number 1s, or it could also be your family, just generally people that you're close to, that someone is adding a burden to this group. It's going to be made clear. I don't know if maybe they bring the vibe down or they're just like a negative person, but it seems like if that's something that you've noticed that maybe other people in the group haven't noticed yet, this year they're going to realize the same thing that you did about the way that this person kind of drags this group down, is how I would say that. It could also be a burden of, like, you know, if it's a community in terms of like a public thing that you work on, like maybe you're at like a public committee is kind of another idea I'm hearing here, or example, I guess I would say, you know, maybe someone's being a little bit too much of a burden in that way. But no matter what, that will be made clear to the whole group of people involved. So there's more clarity coming with your relationships in that area, pile number 1s for 2024. That's probably what this finger is all about, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future, because as you all know, when there's conflicts in groups like that, causes ripple effects and waves of issues sometimes. I'm not seeing anything major, but especially with your clear out the old card here, pile number 1s, this is making room for new energy by clearing out old energy. So generally with your relationships, I'm seeing a theme of old energies that aren't serving you or the group anymore, like your friend group, for example, or your family, for example, being let go and new things being allowed to come in. So even though this change, this clarity of the burden, like Lenormand said, and also this problem with the finger, looks kind of scary on the surface, it's actually something positive here, especially with clear out the old, because, you know, it's kind of like when, you know, we dust our floors, right, or dust our houses. It's just making room, getting rid of the old and making room for clean new energy to come in that's more positive, right? So there could be like an expansion of your social group or a little bit of a change in that area, especially connecting back to your pile leader with going beyond normal. Yeah, and that could be the exciting event that's going on, is maybe a person is going to be leaving from your social group because of this burden revealed. It could also be, especially in tandem with your hope card here, you probably have been hoping for something in your relationships, pile number 1s for 2024. I think there's going to be a new development in that area. Now, this could be, depending on if you're single or not. If you're single, this likely is a new relationship I'm seeing here with hope and an exciting event. Okay. Or at the very least, like preparation for a new relationship because of the clear out the old, right? If you're already in a relationship, it seems like there's going to be a new development in that relationship of some sort, and it's a positive thing. It's something that you've been hoping for, hence it being exciting, and also your hope card, okay? All right, and let's get, see if there's any other last messages before I get to your guidance for relationships in the next year. Yeah, so don't worry so much about that problem with your finger card here, where it says, you know, warning of a problem either now or in the near future. This is a problem that's going to kind of fix itself with this relationships area, or like the social group that I was talking about earlier. It's going to be a positive outcome, even if initially it's kind of a problem, okay? All right, and then let's get your guidance for relationships in the next year, pile number 1s. We received the Page of Swords reversed, okay? I'm going to see what the other cards are before I say anything on that. 9 of Swords reversed, okay? And then we have the 9 of Cups. So, okay, emotional satisfaction, lessen anxiety, trust your instincts, trust your insight, okay? So, pile number 1's guidance from Spirit for your relationships for 2024, all right? I would say if there's something that you've been worrying about a lot with your relationships, number 1, 9 of Swords reversed, is asking to reduce that anxiety energy so that you're able to accept more positive energy, especially with clear out the old we had earlier. It's about like making room for new things. So just know that to help alleviate this anxiety, everything will work out just fine in the end. I'm seeing, especially with your predictions cards, good things are coming. So if you're tending to kind of over worry in this area a little bit, they're saying lessen that anxiety with the 9 of Swords reversed. And then, yeah, definitely with the 9 of Cups here, this is an indication of it's number 1, it's kind of seen as like the smug card, but it's also like wishes fulfilled. So I think they're just telling you to, like I was saying with lessening that anxiety with the 9 of Swords reversed, is that there will be wishes fulfilled this year, especially with something that you've been hoping for with your hope card, right? And then you're gone with the exciting event. Just know that, yes, there are positive things coming, things that you've been hoping for, and they're saying that to you because they want you to reduce your anxiety in this area, just knowing that it's handled and Spirit has got it down pat, right? And then the Page of Swords reversed, I would say, like, that's kind of like a trust your gut, trust your insight into things card, asking for more of that. As you go through this next year with your relationships, pile number 1's in 2024, lean in more to trusting your gut and trusting insight on things. So pay attention to the tiny details is what I would say when it comes to your relationships. That's another aspect of advice that they're giving to you. So, okay, everything will work out just fine in the end, it seems, and there's some exciting stuff coming. And it looks like old negative energy is going to be cleared out, so that's always a positive thing to get. And then last but not least, we're going to move on to the spirituality, kind of life lessons part of 2024 for you. Okay. First up, we'll take your tarot cards as guidance down here. We'll do that at the end. And then your tea leaves for spirituality, life lessons, general themes of next year. Caterpillar, things will not always be this way. A change is coming. Okay, so if there's been stagnant energy with life lessons, kind of the general trajectory of your life, pile number 1's, it seems like that's going to be changing here in a positive manner. Needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted. Okay, so there's something you've been hoping for. Something that maybe you've been asking Spirit, they've heard it. Could be related to that relationship thing we just talked about, the thing that you're hoping for. And then you have Spirit Self, be who you are as you are. And we have Inner Space and Universal Knowledge. Okay, so maybe a little bit more development of your spiritual identity this year, pile number 1's. I'll talk about that as I shuffle out your Lenormand cards for predictions in this area, especially because this card here, it might not catch on camera, but it's a face with a light at the third eye chakra, which is like intuition, seeing and knowing things, right? And then also Spirit Self here with the green hair and the golden apple. Like it says, be who you are as you are. I think there's going to be more solidifying of your identity and your spirituality this year, pile number 1's. Maybe you've been kind of wavering between different beliefs, or you've been exploring a lot between different beliefs this past year in 2023. It seems that in 2024, this is going to maybe solidify a little bit more. It's going to be more of an independent path and not so much seeking. It's more about solidifying, is how I would put it. Your Lenormand, you got the Clover, which is luck, the man, and the letter. Okay, so luck, man, and the letter. Clover, man, letter. That I would say is a prediction of luck with a document with a man, or a man's document. I don't know if you've had something in the past year or so where there's some related to a man, there's been some sort of issue regarding documentation or communication, maybe in some way, written communication, some sort of agreement, but it seems like that's going to fix itself this year. Pile number ones with especially the clover. There's luck in this area regarding a man and like documentation around that. So general reading is going to be different for everybody. It could be, especially with like life lessons and spirituality here, pile number ones for the next year. Yeah, it's like luck in, because the document can also be like an agreement. So that could also reflect, like I was saying before, about like solidifying your spirituality in the next year, pile ones. Kind of getting it down on paper as a metaphor, quote unquote. But yeah, I see just more alignment here with not only your spirituality, but like specifically like in conjunction with who you are as a person, your identity deep down, solidifying that. Yeah, lots of change coming in a positive way. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming, like your your tea leaf says here. So it could be that you change your beliefs a little bit. In general, one of the themes for the next year for you is change. Not only we talked about like with your friend groups in the relationship section, but keeping an eye on things at your career too, and then a sincere wish will be granted. So I see a lot of success and happiness in general this next year, pile number ones, not only with your spirituality, but as a general theme. This is probably related to the relationships thing, like I said before, where you had the hope card. There's something that you've really been wanting that is going to come to fruition here in the next year for you, pile number ones. And last but not least, let's get to... let's look at this card. Yeah, inner space, universal knowledge. Yeah, especially with inner space. That's like knowledge of self, but also connecting it with universal knowledge, which is the knowledge of spirituality outside of ourself. That's the general theme for you this next year for spirituality, at least pile number ones. And let's get to your guidance. So we have the Six of Swords reversed. We have the King of Wands reversed and the Three of Wands reversed. All right. Yes, they're saying here with the Six of Swords reversed, normally upright, it's a card of departure, moving into greener pastures. Reversed, it's kind of indication of needing to leave something. So spiritual or spirituality wise, and also in general, this next year, pile number ones, look to greener pastures in terms of what more connects deeply with who you are as a person, like identity-wise deep down, and also what serves you the best. That's one piece of advice we're seeing here with the Six of Swords reversed. King of Wands reversed, be more confident in your spirituality. There really are no mistakes that you can make with your spirituality. It's all just like a path of self-finding, self-searching. There's no need to have it be completely solidified or be completely one thing. And I see, like, you know, what I said with your earlier cards here, that is something you're going to it is going to be solidified, but be confident about it too with the King of Wands reversed. It's asking for more of that confidence energy from the King. And don't be afraid to speak out about it. Like, here, these are my beliefs. These are things that I believe now. In general, too, could be for your life lesson themes of the next year is to become more confident. Maybe that wish granted I talked about earlier will help in that area, too. And then also that new friend it seems you're going to be making at work. And then the Three of Wands reversed is another piece of advice to don't be afraid to venture out. Because Three of Wands is about going forward with plans that we've made. So if there's anything that you planned for in this next year, pile number ones, that you are really looking forward to, but maybe you're a little bit hesitant to go forward with, this is an indication to go forward with it boldly, especially in conjunction with the King of Wands reversed being needing more confidence in some area. Take trips if you've been looking for one, or you've been kind of pining for one. Take trips, especially that could help your spirituality as well, just getting new perspectives, seeing new places, right? And as well as any other plans you've been thinking about, you know, maybe starting a new business, maybe trying something new. That seems to be a prominent theme here with these advice cards for you. So there you go. Pile number ones, I hope that reading was helpful for you as always. I hope to see you in the next video, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your year as well. Bye. Hello, my awesome pile number twos. Welcome to your guidance for 2024 reading for today. As I said in the intro, this is going to be kind of a meaty reading. It's going to be 3 different sections. We're going to talk about career, relationships, and spirituality, plus general life lessons themes for 2024, and then predictions and guidance in each section. So, without further ado, I'm going to first talk about your career for 2024. So, predictions. We'll put your pile leader off to the side here, and then I'm just going to take your career cards with me up here, and then your other cards down here with me until we get to those sections later. All right, so tarot is guidance. I'm going to just set that down here for a second. And then let's get to your predictions. Career, 2024. Pile number 2s, we have the well, family wishes come true. Okay. And then we also have lobster, financial pinch. So a positive thing and a slightly little bit of a warning here for career for pile number 2s for your 2024. All right, before I expand on that, let's look at your other cards. We have courage, okay, being brave about things. And we have time for a quantum leap, prepare for a makeover, okay. And then let's get your Lenormand on the desk as well. Okay, Spirit, can you give me 3 cards for pile number 2s for their career predictions 2024? 3 cards, please. Okay, one's already popping, I can see. We have the girl or the child, okay. We have, let's see, the key. And the mountain obstacles, okay. Pile number 2 is your prediction for 2024 in career. Let us see. There's something to do with a financial pinch. I'm just going to talk about those slightly negative thing here first, so we can cap off your career with something more positive. At your job, or in some way with your career, there's going to be a financial pinch. Now, that's kind of an expected thing. Right now, we're in a bit of an economic downturn in the world, or at least here in the U.S. we are. I don't know where specifically you are, but I think in general everyone around the world is kind of feeling a bit of a pinch right now because of the lobster, right? Or like the lobster says here, financial pinch. It could be there are some cutbacks at your career or like your job, your place of work. There could be some cutbacks in maybe not necessarily like pay, but changes when it comes to like money and maybe number of workers at work is how I would put that. Let's see. Yeah, I think pile number 2s. The silver lining to this is with your courage card and your time for a quantum leap, prepare for a makeover card, and your well card. There's some sort of aspect of 2024 in your career where I think you might move jobs. I'm not saying that you're going to be fired. I'm not saying that at all. But I think you're going to move jobs. Maybe you've even already been thinking about it. And the reason I say that is because, time for a quantum leap, prepare for a makeover. That's kind of shifting into new energy, pile number 2s. And then courage is being brave, being able to withstand change, right? But the silver lining is that I think it aligns better with your family or your home life, this new job that you move to, because it says family wishes come true. And then you also, for your Lenormand, got the child or the girl, the key, and the mountain. So I would read that as a child is the key to obstacles. So I don't know if you're expecting a new family member coming here soon in 2024, pile number 2s. But if that's the case for you, this change that is made within your career or your job is going to be a lot better for your family. It's likely probably going to afford you maybe a higher salary so to further support your family. It could also be maybe better time-wise, especially with a new child on the way, if that applies to you. It could also mean, if that's not necessarily like a family or new child thing coming in for you, as this is a general reading, everyone's going to be a bit different, that there is maybe someone younger at work that's going to be hired. that's going to help break through obstacles at work. It could be a new intern. I'm getting feminine energy here, especially with the girl card here. But they're the key to breaking an obstacle of some sort here, hence the key and the mountain, right? Excuse me. So either way, generally I see positive movement here. Maybe even if that applies to you where it's like a younger feminine energy being hired that breaks through obstacles in some way, there's going to be maybe like a shifting of jobs around your department because of this new person coming in, hence the time for a quantum leap and having courage. It might even be that you're moving up. But yes, the one little warning that I am seeing here is financial pinch. So probably likely at your job, they might be cutting back a little bit. I don't think it's going to affect you much, pile number 2s, because I do see a lot of positivity in the other cards, but just expect that. But generally, like I said, kind of an economic downturn all around the world right now, at least at the time that I'm recording this video. So this financial pinch is probably not going to be much of a surprise for you. So don't worry too much about it. I don't see a firing here. I more to see some sort of shifting and or you on your own decision leaving to a job that serves you or your family and or both better, okay? So those are the predictions I see for your career for 2024. Let's get to your guidance. We have the Strength card reversed, okay? That leans into your Courage card here, pile number 2s. They're asking you to be a little bit more bold, be a little bit more courageous with things, especially if you're making a career change, but you're a little bit scared maybe because of lower economic times. You're wondering maybe, do I make this change? Do I go forward? What if this job is secure and right now the economy isn't so great? All those kind of worries that we have with this. Spirit is asking you with your career to have strength, okay? Be courageous, be willing to risk, especially because it's like a cacti blooming in a desert, right? Or cactus blooming in the desert here. It's not as sparse as you think it is. I think you'll find a lot more success if you're just brave enough, if that's something that you're looking to do, pile number 2s, if you're just brave enough to venture out from where you are, if you are looking for like a career or a job move, okay? 6 of Wands here, card of victory, things going well. They're reassuring you that things will be just fine here with 6 of Wands, pile number 2s. Everything will be just right. But also, not just with having this guarantee of things going well, right? But with your Justice reversed card here, normally upright, that's about kind of what it says on the tin. Justice, fairness, impartiality. But reversed, it's asking you to look at your career in 2024 regarding, is it fair to you? Okay, and maybe that's part of what spurs you to making a shift or a change in this area, pile number 2s, is what's fair to you? Are you being overworked? Are you being not paid what you're worth? Especially in hard times like this economy, right? Are you being treated well? And that's something they want you to look at so that it spurs you in the right direction towards not only better abundance for yourself, but better abundance for, if you have a family, better for them, right? So that you can find more victory in this area with that 6 of Wands. The only key is you just have to be brave enough to try, okay? You just have to be brave enough to be willing to risk, to change, okay? So that is your career for next year, 2024, pile number 2. So let's clear the desk and look at your relationships for 2024. Okay. We'll shift that over. Relationships, 2024. Okay, your tarot cards I'll keep down here with me because that's guidance. But 2024 predictions. Let's take a gander. Your relationships, hat. You will be playing a different role. Once again, I'm getting the sense maybe a new family member, pile number 2s. Maybe this is your first time being a parent, if that's applicable to you. It could be a shift in some role that you played both in romantic relationships or in your friend group or in your family. And then weeping willow, family sorrow. So there is another little negative thing here. There might be a little bit of a setback with your family this year, pile number 2s. I don't want to be too negative, but I also don't want to sugarcoat, right? I want to be honest and give you honest readings. So, surrender, okay. Surrendering, and then perfect setting, okay. So, you might be moving your family this year, pile number 2s, hence perfect setting. Maybe that's another reason for all what we saw in your career section about moving somewhere, or moving to a different type of job, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. Are you moving? That might be one thing. Let me get your Lenormand on the desk here, though. Let me shuffle here. Spirit, for pile number 2s for the relationships, can you give me a prediction for 2024, please? Or maybe something that provides more context on one of the themes here. Okay, let's see what's going on here. We have the Rider, news. Okay. We have the Clover, luck. So that's good. That's a positive lining, right? And the Dog, loyalty. Okay, or friendship. News of loyalty, or luck with loyalty, or news or delivery of luck with a friend. If there's some area in your life, pile number 2s, with your someone that's very close to you, someone that you consider a good friend, right? If there's an area you've been kind of worried about in the past year, pile number 2s, it seems like there's going to be better luck this year with that person. Hence, delivery or news of luck with a friend or loyalty. So I see positive things with your friend group this year. Definitely, probably just, this is talking about just one of your friends, but I don't see anything in general negative with any of your other friendships here. So that part is good for you, pile number 2s. Excuse me. I do see here, though, like I said, with Weeping Willow, Family Sorrow, and Hattie will be playing a different role. I think those two are connected. I mean, a family sorrow can be anything, so I'm not going to say anything very specific in this area because this is general. It could be different for everybody, but that's probably where the surrender card comes in, is kind of surrendering to the changes that inevitably come. So there might be more of a need this year in relationships with your family, pile number 2s, to maybe take time for self-care, take time to kind of process your emotions. Like I said, I'm not going to give specifics on what that family sorrow is, but just know that there is something in that area coming. And that's probably where this hat, you will be playing a different role, pops in. It could be maybe someone is moving in your family or something, and you'll have to step up and take a little bit of a role of what they were doing with your family before they move, or, excuse me, maybe, like I said before, I think some of you might be moving with perfect setting over here, so maybe your role shifts with your family because of that physical distance. Or with family sorrow here, it could be, I'm trying to think of like different possible interpretations, because I know this is a general reading, everyone's going to be different. It could be even that you're moving closer to your family because of this sorrow that happens, and you'll be playing a different role because of that. You know, or it could be your family is just sorry that you're leaving far away physically for maybe a job or something, and that's kind of that family sorrow. Whatever it is, just kind of expect maybe a little bit of a bump this year with your family for 2024. But I do see a lot of happiness with other aspects of your relationships for 2024. I get the sense that most of you are already in a relationship romantically. You might have to kind of lean into, especially depending on what this family sorrow is, lean into the strength of your partner a little bit more this year because of that, especially if you are taking on an additional role here. Yeah, for those of you who are single, I'm not seeing much in terms of romantic relationships this year. That doesn't mean that none will happen or that there won't be like a romantic relationship that pops up. But for those of you that are kind of seeking a romantic relationship, I do see really good luck with your friends. It could be that you find a partner out of your friend group, hence luck with a loyal friend here with your Lenormand reading. It could also be with your surrender card and your perfect setting card, just a call from spirit, or at least kind of an indicator that most of relationships for those of you who are, or the romantic area for those of you who are single but maybe searching for romance right now, to focus on yourself a little bit more this year. That would be something that'll kind of happen, is, you know, focus on everything more around you that's in your control in terms of other areas of your life, and just kind of surrendering to what the universe throws at you in terms of romance. So kind of just an acceptance of what comes. Like I said, that doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be any romance coming for you. Pile number 2 is for those of you who are single. I'm just saying, I'm not saying anything specific in this area that Spirit is saying. So let me look at your guidance for your relationships for 2024, pile number 2s. For your tarot cards, you received the Child or Page of Pentacles reversed. Okay. That could be some guidance to, well, I'm going to have the other cards down and I'll say it. 10 of Cups reversed. Yep, okay. Yeah, so especially because of 10 of Cups reversed, pile number 2s, I'm going to say for those of you who are single, the focus this year is not so much on romance. I'm not saying, and Spirit's not saying, like, give up on searching, like if you're actively on, like, dating sites or looking for a partner. It's just that this year is more about, or they're asking you to kind of focus more on you this year, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, same thing where if you are in a relationship, you know, make sure with this 10 of Cups reversed as a guidance card, look for every way in your relationship that you can kind of make it, you know, easier for both of you in this relationship, how you can support one another and find kind of a happily ever after state. Because the 10 of Cups normally upright is happily ever after. Reversed, it's asking for more of that energy. So what are you both really, like, seeking in this relationship if it's not like a marriage, that kind of vibe, or even if you, like, are in, like, a committed, you know, lifetime relationship, like marriage, for example, look for ways to bring a little bit more magic back into the relationship, at least in terms of, like, romantic gestures, I would say, with the 10 of Cups reversed here. 4 of Pentacles. It's interesting to get in conjunction with the Page of Pentacles reversed. 4 of Pentacles is about holding back with your money or holding back on things. Being stingy is kind of one negative connotation of the 4 of Pentacles. And then the Page of Pentacles reversed is, like, I would say exploring a new idea in terms of the material world. So if there's some sort of thing that you've been wanting to explore with your relationships, pile number 2s, in terms of the way you spend money regarding your relationships, they're saying maybe hold back on finances just a little bit in your friendships, family, and, like, relationships this year because of that 4 of Pentacles. Maybe not focus so much on, like, for example, my family, for one side of my family, for Christmas, we don't get each other gifts at all. Just because, you know, not only is money tight for people, but also we want to focus on, you know, kind of a less commercial version of Christmas and get down to the brass tacks of that. So this could be kind of a guidance for you, pile number 2s, where just because maybe, like, there isn't money being spent on relationships doesn't mean that the core fundamental, like, goodness or strength of the relationship is less, you know, especially as, you know, maybe we do move into a little bit more of a financial pinch in the next year in general, the whole world, just economically. Focus on somewhat more so on the time you spend with people rather than on, like, what you're doing in terms of, like, spending money, like, you know, like, for example, instead of, you know, paying for tickets at the movie theater, go spend time, you know, free at the park or something like that. That's just one piece of guidance I'm seeing here, but the 4 of Pentacles and the Child Pentacles reversed. Yeah, look for more happiness in the mundane, I guess, with relationships is what I'm seeing here. Yeah. Especially, like, if you are moving, finances might be just a little bit of tight here with that perfect setting card. Just, yeah, be careful with finances in relation to your relationships is how I would summarize that, pile number 2s. Okay, let's get to your last section of the reading, which is about spirituality, general life lessons, and themes for the next year. Okay. Clear the desk, accept your pile leader. All right. And then Lenormand here I will shuffle. Okay. Your tarot cards I'll set down here with me. Those are guidance in general. Spirituality and themes of next year. General last piece of advice from Spirit. We have the Quill, get back to the basics. That's just what I was saying about the money thing, right? With your relationships. How much money is spent doesn't really matter. It's about the time that you spend with people and getting back to the basics, right? And then Stork, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. Yeah, I think some of you are there's a new family member coming here. That was in your, I think in the career section of your reading, if I'm not mistaken. There's new energy coming in with that. Okay. And then we have transitions. Yep. Okay. You have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Yep. And it is time to move forward. Oh my. Pile number 2 is, look at that momentum building up here. Look at your 2024 in general. Yeah. So in terms of spirituality, pile number 2s, it could be that there's a little bit of a lessening here in 2024 in terms of, I mean, it depends on your religion. I mean, some of you, like, let's say if you go to church, right, you might not go to church as often because you're more busy if you do have, like, a new family member coming in, or you might not focus on your spirituality as much. It might be more just about, like, the mundane details of life in the next year, hence you get back to the basics. And, of course, you know, if you do have a new business opportunity or, like, a birth coming in here, definitely you're going to be pretty busy, right? So Spirit is acknowledging that, right? But there's a lot of forward movement. There's a lot of transitional energy here. I mean, moving from one kind of time of your life to another, especially, like, I mean, if you're having a child, right? I mean, look at that, transitions, time to move forward. Lot of forward movement here. Pile number 2 is, I think this year might feel kind of fast to you, like it's just going to go by in a blur. There's a lot of activity here I'm seeing for you. And then your Lenormand is the book, the owls, and the snake. Secret communication about rebirth or transformation. That's interesting. Secret communication about rebirth. You might see a little bit of a rekindling of your spirituality in some way, pile number 2s. I think, you know, especially with Get Back to Basics, there might be a shift back to maybe less focus on it next year. So in that way, it's going to be kind of reinvented your spirituality just a little bit. I'm not saying too much change in that aspect, but I think so much of your year 2024 is going to be focused on the physical and the mundane and just, you know, day-to-day life, that spirituality will maybe kind of take a little bit of a back seat, and something that you might have to return to, or if you desire to return to a little bit more heavily in other years. But there's so much forward momentum here that it seems like with your career and your relationships, pile number 2 is that there's going to be that shift of energy where maybe spirituality gets a little bit put on the back burner and you're going to be focusing more on life in other ways. Get back to the basics. And definitely there's a lot of spiritual lessons with, you know, if there is a birth coming in 2024 for you, pile number 2s, or a new business opportunity, you know, both a literal baby and a business are new opportunities or new things like that are kind of all the same, similar experience of nurturing new life, right? Bringing something new into creation. So yeah, definitely just a very physically focused year I see here. Not necessarily devoid of spirituality, but just not as much of a focus, I would say, for you. And then let's get to your general guidance for the rest of the year, for 2024 for you, pile number 2s. We have the 7 of Pentacles reversed, okay. And we have the 6 of Cups. Yes, I think, yeah, there's definitely a child coming in, even if it's not yours or someone in your family having a kid, I think. 6 of Cups is childhood energy, children. And then the Star reversed, okay. So your advice for the next year in general and your spirituality, life lessons, themes for next year, pile 2s are, the Star is about having hope or faith in something, especially reversed. It's asking for more energy with that. Have more faith that things will work out, especially with your career. That was a theme we saw earlier at the beginning of the reading, right? Having faith and having courage, right? To leap forward and try new things, especially if where you're at right now, with your career specifically, is not working for you. It could be, we talked about with your family sorrow card in the second part of the reading. Maybe your spirituality is a little bit shaken up because of that sorrow, depending on what it is. And, the Star, like I said, is also about having faith. In times that you are finding that your faith or your hope in things is a little bit shaken, lean into spirituality a little bit more, maybe meditate, depending on what religion you're in, focus on the materials related to your religion, like, Christianity is like the Bible, just general example, right? Yeah, and then also just have faith that things will work out just fine. There's no, like, even though things will be moving a little bit fast, pile number 2s, and even though there is a little bit of a blip here with family sorrow we saw earlier, and maybe a financial pinch at work, everything will be just fine in the end. Here is kind of the star, right? Is having hope and faith and everything being okay, right? They're encouraging you to lean into that energy more. 6 of Cups, definitely, like I said, childhood energy here. I think a new child's on the way in your family in some aspect. That brings a lot of spirituality changes, especially if it's your own child, maybe the first time you've had a child. But also, as an advice card, it's a card of leaning back into inner child energy more is what I would say. So leaning more into, like, looking at who you were when you were young, what made you happy back then, where have you lost touch with yourself, like your younger self in some ways. That'll kind of also bring more happiness and maybe more something to kind of rely on when times maybe do get just a little bit too fast or tough, right? Leading into things like that. And then the 7 of Pentacles reversed. I would say that is advice from Spirit, pile number 2s, to... I'm trying to think with your other cards here. Don't push yourself too hard, though things are moving really fast, it seems, this year, pile number 2s, and there's a lot of change and momentum. Keep in mind, in the end, self-care, because normally upright, the 7 of Pentacles is about putting hard work into something, right? It's about planting seeds. Don't be upset with yourself if maybe you don't do all the things that you're hoping to get done this year, just because there is so much going on that, like, just don't beat yourself up when it comes to maybe not getting to all the things in the material world that you expected to this next year. I'm not saying that you won't get those things. It's just that if it does come up, be easy on yourself, because this is a year of a lot of changes. This is a year of a lot of forward momentum. And, kind of your theme for the year is just maintaining self-care and, stability, even as all this change is going on, all these transitions are going on. So yeah, self-care, take a bubble bath, meditate, go hiking in nature, something like that, treat yourself to a cookie or something. Maintain yourself, because we can't fill other people's cups if our own cup is empty, right? So pile number 2s, I hope that reading was helpful for you. As always, I hope to see you in the next video, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your year and a happy 2024. Bye. Hello, my lovely pile number 3s. Welcome to your pick a card reading today that is all about your guidance for 2024. As I said in the intro, this is going to be a little bit of a meaty reading. We're going to talk about your career, relationships, and at the end, spirituality, life lessons, general last-minute guidance from Spirit for your 2024. So, without further ado, let's begin. You received the card, or you picked the card, Shock of the New, for your pile leader. We're just going to set her over here as we first talk about your career. So let's separate the cards out here. Let's see, these ones are career. I'll set your other ones down here with me. And your tarot cards will be more about guidance. I'll set these over here. And let's first look at predictions for career for 2024, pile number 3s. Your first card is Leg, stepping into a new experience. Does that not fit with your pile leader or what? Maybe a job change. Let's see. You received Seahorse, family matters, something to do with your family and your career. You almost kind of sound like pile number 2s. If you were drawn to that pile as well, that might also be a pertinent reading for you to view. And your oracle cards are Purity, okay? And Discover Your Superpower, access 100% of your mojo. Okay. I'm getting an inkling, but I won't say anything yet. Then... Spirit, can you give me a Lenormand reading for predictions for career for 2024 for pile 3, please? 3 cards. Okay. We have the Heart. Lovely. We have the Man, or the Lord, in this deck. And then we have the Key. Okay, pile number 3 is predictions for career 2024. I'm going to say I think some of you are moving into a new career in general. I say that not only because of your pile leader shock of the new, but also because you got the card stepping into a new experience and access your superpower, or excuse me, discover your superpower. I think you're moving to a career, or at least it's for most of you are being highly encouraged in this area, that more aligns with your strengths and your interests. Maybe you were in a career that you didn't enjoy so much before, and this year, 2024, is going to shift more into your superpower, more into something that you're more interested in, or have maybe more like skill at that you've been working on or have dreamed about for a long time. So that's number one prediction I'm seeing for your career 2024. That's always lovely to hear, right? You know, moving into something that aligns more with who we are and what we're good at, right? Could also even be a promotion pile number threes, especially with shock of the new, stepping into a new experience and your superpower here. I see almost like a mentor kind of student role here with this, because it's one figure kind of speaking down to a younger figure. Or excuse me, figure, I should say, not finger. Yeah, access 100% of your mojo. So either a career change to something that's more aligned with who you are, or a promotion that is more aligned into a title that's with what you're interested in at this particular job, right? Lenormand is, let's see, heart, man, key. The heart of a man is the key. There's something to do with a male figure or masculine figure at your work. Pile number 3 is where either getting on their good side or getting to their heart in some way. I don't mean romantically, obviously this is work related, right? But getting to their heart is the key to something. It could be related to, if this is a promotion, maybe there's a masculine figure, masculine energy at work that, like getting, I don't want to say getting on their good side, because it's not in like it's not like in an unethical way where you're just buttering them up to get the promotion. Like, not that, but like getting closer to them will help you as the key to this next step in your career. Pile number 3 is, now purity is interesting, as well as family matters. Let's see here. Oh, also for your Lenormand, this could also be a prediction that if there's a masculine energy at your work for some of you who you're kind of almost wondering how to like navigate around this person. Something about emotional, or the emotions of this man are the key. So it could also be a prediction of having to manage around the emotions of a masculine figure at work. Could be, if that's maybe a little bit more of an obstacle than the other interpretation, but yeah, something to do with a man at work, his emotions playing a part in some sort of movement, right? Is how I would put that in general for everybody that's viewing this. And then, yeah, purity and family matters. It could be if you work at like a family business, family-owned business, that there's some sort of thing that happens with that family that affects this change, or changes in general at your career or at your job. Could be also the reason maybe why you're moving career, kind of like pile number 2, is related to family matters. Maybe you're moving closer to family, or you're moving with your family somewhere, hence the change. It could also be just more time opening up, or family matters affecting your career in some way, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, purity is about kind of boiling things down to more pure forms. I don't know, maybe part of this move, if this is a promotion, you're going to be working not so much in like as a generalist with things. You're going to be working with on a more specific thing. Maybe like before you used to do a lot of different things, like you wore a lot of different hats, and now it's going to be boiled down to, you're going to do something at a higher pay, at a promotion, like at a higher rate. That's more specific. It's not going to be quite as maybe general, or kind of what I'm saying, right, is like there's something more pure about it in terms of either the work that you're going to be doing, but also it could be purity in terms of if this is a career change for you, pile number 3s, and something more aligned with who you are and your interests. It's more about like purity at work in terms of being more honestly interested in what you do because of that change into something new that more aligns with who you are, right? So that's what I see for predictions for career. Let's look to your guidance for career for 2024. We have the Hierophant reversed. Yep. Number 1 piece of advice, don't fall in tradition. Seek the new. That's your number 1 piece of advice. The Chariot, drive forward with confidence. hold the reins. If this is a career change for you, pile number 3s, you're being advised to not fear the change, to drive forward with it with confidence, because you have the reins, you're just fine. You have control, right? And then the 4 of Pentacles reversed. Yep, kind of another card of not being, normally it's about, the negative connotation is not being stingy with things, but in this reading I would particularly interpret it as advice to be more willing to take risks in this area, even if it's a little bit scary, because the benefits, obviously, of stepping into new energy here with the Hierophant reversed, instead of old patterns, is going to serve you, and it's going to help you feel like you have more control over your life. Perhaps more of that control with the Chariot is regarding, with your Family Matters card earlier, the more control is like being able to spend more time with your family because of this shift of either it being a promotion or a career change, okay? So that's what I see for your career. Let's look at your relationships for 2024, pile number 3s. Let me clear the table and we'll look at relationships. Kind of the same thing. We'll look at predictions first and guidance later. Your predictions for relationships for 2024. Temporary situation. Maybe a temporary friend coming in and out of your life. Maybe a relationship just being temporary in some way. We'll see what else pops out for your relationships. You also have Cup. You should accept valid criticism. Okay, so there might be some aspect of your relationships in the next year, pile number 3s, where someone's going to criticize you for something. I don't mean to focus on the negative, but this is just saying that when that pops up, you should accept the criticism if you've weighed it and you've seen that it's valid, of course. I mean, we don't want to be bullied and we don't want to accept invalid criticism, but if it does pop up, we'll see if more details come out. They're saying to accept it, right? Freedom, okay, so more freedom from something, and then trust your own understanding, okay. All right, so maybe letting go of some old energy with relationships this year, pile number 3s. Let me get your Lenormand cards on the deck, or excuse me, on the desk here. Spirit, can you give me 3 cards for pile number 3s regarding a prediction for the relationships for 2024, please? Okay, let's see what pops out. We have the Fox, someone being clever or sly. Okay. The Woman, or feminine energy, okay. A sly, clever woman. And the Writer delivers news. Okay, a sly or clever woman delivers news. In your relationships this year, pile number 3s, there's some situation where a feminine energy in your life, someone who is clever or sly about something, is going to deliver news. Okay? This could be related to the valid criticism. The clever could actually mean like not in a sly way. It could mean in a way where it's actually like valid insight clever. So that's a hint from that then that this is a feminine energy who might deliver that that valid criticism that Spirit's asking you to kind of look out for and maybe listen to when it pops up. It could also be a feminine partner or a feminine family member or a feminine friend of yours. There's some sort of news that they're going to be delivering here in the past, or in the future in 2024. And the indicator for who that feminine energy is someone who's clever, right? Someone who's clever like a fox, okay? So look out for that. Let's see if we can maybe glean what the news is. Like I said, it could be the valid criticism. It could be the temporary situation popping up. Maybe the news that this feminine figure delivers is that, hey, I'm only here temporarily. Maybe I'm moving. Maybe I'm doing something else. Maybe I'm going with this direction, and that's why they're kind of maybe a temporary energy in your life, especially if this is either romantic or a platonic friend, right? And freedom, too, is a theme here, too. Like I said, clearing out old energies with your friendships and relationships. You might be letting go of a relationship that's not serving you in the next year here, pile number 3, especially with the freedom card, hence like temporary situation, right? And shock of the new, which was your pile leader. But you're also being asked here with the predictions, with trust your own understanding. There's some situation coming up where yes, you should accept valid criticism, but also trust your own understanding. So one of the themes with the predictions for your relationships, pile 3s for 2024, is balancing between when to accept criticism and when to trust your own understanding. And that probably is like a life lesson theme for you here in the next year, at least in terms of your relationships, is, where does what I know about myself and my situation end compared to what someone else knows about me and my situation end, right? Balancing those two things, okay? So trust your own understanding. But when valid criticism does come along, this is advice to take it, okay? So that's their predictions for relationships for 2024, pile number 3s. A lot more freedom, clearing out old energy, like I said. Excuse me, especially, like I said, shock of the new. I don't know if this is like an entirely new friend group that you find, or it could be a new relationship that you're finding or seeking this year. In any case, it's more of an independent energy I'm getting from you here for next year, pile 3s. So let's look to your guidance for 2024 in your relationships, pile 3s. We have the Two of Wheels, Two of Pentacles, balancing things, okay? Like I said, one of the themes is balancing between trusting your own understanding and accepting valid criticism. You're being asked to really focus on that with your relationships in the next year, pile 3s. We also have the Queen of Cups reversed, okay? Listening to emotions internally. And then we also have the Four of Swords reversed, which is a call to be more active in some ways. If you're looking for a relationship this year, pile number 3s for 2024. The Four of Swords is about becoming more active in that search, and or things will become more active if you have been single for a while. This is like moving from a time of rest to a time of activity, right? It could also be that, let's see here, kind of a slowdown of relationships this year, especially if you are kind of moving friend groups in some way, hence kind of the Four of Swords energy. Or maybe it's been that way for a while and you're moving out of that, hence, like, because the Four of Swords reverse is like becoming from inactive to active, right? So there's more movement in this area here, or they're asking you to kind of look for more movement in this area, pile number 3s. Yeah, Two of Wheels, like I said, balancing between things. Balancing could be like if you're in multiple friend groups, balancing time between them, focus on that, make sure you're paying attention to both kind of, or all of your friends equally here. Let's see what else pops out with advice here. And then the Queen of Cups reversed is leaning more into emotions internally, or being more close or connected with your emotions internally. So I guess how I would interpret that as advice, pile number 3s, is really focus on the way being around certain people makes you feel in the next year here. Who drains you, who adds to your life, right? And take a more active role here, especially with the Four of Swords reversed, in calling your friend group into people who are supportive and kind to you and want what's best for you. Now, that's probably where the valid criticism card comes in, because does that necessarily mean you want, 100% yes men around you? Of course not. People that always, might, I'll just put it bluntly, kiss your butt. Not that I'm saying that you do that, but that's one aspect that Spirit is kind of asking you to focus on is how do people make you feel in your relationships, and become more active in finding, not only balance between them, but also, who is an added benefit to your life versus who is a net negative, right? Yeah. So, and think of it when you are doing that process, think of it in a way that is like, who wants what's best for me is probably the best question I would ask myself in this situation for your relationships in the next year, pile 3s. Yeah. Who wants what's best for me? Okay, that's the question I would say that they're trying to guide you to remember when it comes to relationships in the next year. So, all right, let's get to your last section of the reading, pile number 3s. 1 second, let me clear the table. Your spirituality, life lessons in general, last advice for 2024. Let's take a gander at that. We have, all right, tarot cards down here with me, predictions for spirituality, general last pieces of advice or things to look out for 2024. We have nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. This could mean literal family. It could also mean kind of the things we were talking about with your relationships. Ask who wants what's best for me. Really focus this next year, or at least they're saying that this will be a focus for you. Pile number 3 is building that nest around you of emotional security with the people that are important to you. be it family or platonic or romantic relationships, okay? Horse, short journey. Okay, we'll see what else pops out with that. And then your oracle cards are responding, not reacting. The only control we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. That's probably what that valid criticism card we talked about earlier. When criticism comes up in this next year pile, number 3s, really think through before you respond to it, okay? And that can mean in both ways. That can mean, both in an instant negative gut reaction of, ugh, I don't want to hear that. But also, sometimes you might lean the other way of always accepting criticism and being hard on yourself. So really think things through when it comes to the way that you respond or react to others, okay? That's kind of a life lesson theme I'm seeing here in the next year for your pile 3s. We also have be the best version of yourself and start today, okay? So a lot of spiritual growth in this next year pile number 3s. Let's get your Lenormand on the desk too. Spirit, can you give me a Lenormand reading for pile 3's predictions for spirituality, general life lessons, and lasting predictions or advice for their 2024, please? 3 cards. Okay. We have the birds, communication. Yep, a lot about how we communicate with others. Okay. The fish, exchange, and the woman. Okay. Communication exchanged with a feminine energy. They're really emphasizing this for you this year, especially in your relationships, part of the reading pile number 3s, but also now even in your spirituality, or life lessons for the next year. Really focus on the way that communication is exchanged with someone who is a feminine energy in your life, okay? Even here in your responding, not reacting card, it's 2 feminine characters that are, like, one is kind of consoling the other, kind of figuring out how to react to something, okay? That is a major theme I'm popping out here. They really want you to focus on that, okay? Just be wary of that, all right? But let's see. Yeah, spirituality-wise, though, lots of growth in terms of the way you communicate with others is a lasting theme I'm seeing here. It could even be the way that you speak of your spirituality with others, pile number 3s. I get the sense that maybe some of you don't open up a lot about your spirituality to other people, and part of calling of that friend group or the changes in that area are going to be, like, due to that. Let's see what else pops out here. Short journey, okay. Yeah, that could be maybe with your spirituality this year, there's a little bit of a detour that you take somewhere. Maybe your spirituality has been kind of cemented for a long time, but this year you try something new with it. Like maybe you've never meditated before. And one aspect that you will explore is like, oh, let's try meditation this year. Or maybe you've never learned about anything regarding Buddhism before, and maybe that's a little bit of a detour you take. I don't see like a major lasting change to your spirituality in 2024 pile number 3s, but I do see maybe a little bit of a short journey outside of where you've been with your spirituality. Also maybe just because of these new experiences here with everything going around communication and relationships this year. Yeah, really getting down to the core of with an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. Yeah. Sorry if I'm silent for a second. I just want to make sure I'm wording everything, getting all the messages correctly. Responding, not reacting to can also be a card about when we do come to downturns in our life. Oftentimes the first thing that's shaken is our faith, right? Our hope in things. They're saying there might be some theme here in the next year between, let's say a bad thing happens and then the immediate afterthought is how that affects your spirituality, I guess is how I would put that. Like, let's say something bad happens and you're like, oh, well, I was really praying or hoping for this one thing, that kind of shakes my faith because I didn't get the thing that I was hoping for, that I really needed. So there's going to be maybe some aspect of your spiritual journey in 2024 regarding things that you ask for or things that you communicate that like how the response is given to you by spirit, I guess is how I would put that. So kind of the theme, I guess, to summarize, I kind of got word salady there for a bit, but the theme to summarize is communication, not only between you and other people physically around you, but communication between you and spirit, right? How those responses work, how communication is exchanged, right? Maybe working more on, how you pray or how you manifest or how you meditate or how you speak with the other side, or depending on your religion, everyone's different, or your spirituality. There's development in this area, I would say. Yeah. And then, be the best version of yourself and start today. General advice for the next year, or prediction for you, pile number 3, is every single day, just focus on being the best version of yourself. When there are setbacks, just think about in terms of, well, I tried my best, or if maybe something went wrong that was like an oopsie, just think, oh, well, I tried my best, maybe I could correct this one little thing, but, next time I'll fix that. But just know, just to be forgiving with yourself. I'm not saying that bad things will happen. I mean, of course, like every year, everyone, there's little bumps, right? But they're saying to be a little bit easier on yourself in this area too. And like I said, just be the best version of yourself and start today. Okay. Any improvements that you've been looking for in your life in terms of your spirituality, or just in general, there will be like more movement in that area this next year. It could be like, let's say, you want to start an exercise regimen, or you want to start like, a certain hobby that you've wanted to learn for a long time. Their advice to you is just to start today. Okay. Work on, or at least part of the prediction is to reduce hesitation in those areas too. So, okay. All right, so let's get to your advice for the next year. Excuse me, I'm going to take a little bit of a drink. My throat is getting dry. So your advice, spirituality for the next year. We have the 8 of Cups reversed. We have the 8 of Swords reversed. Oh boy, look at all those 8s. And the 5 of Swords reversed. Okay, so advice, guidance for spirituality, and generally like the themes of next year, pile number 3s. That 8 of Cups reversed here. Normally upright, it's the card of moving emotionally past things, or leaving things behind emotionally. This being reversed is asking for more energy in that area. Leave behind, like if I had to give you one theme for this coming year, pile number 3 is leave behind what's no longer serving you. That's what this is saying here, okay? Also, 8 of Swords reversed is the card of freeing ourselves from things, freeing us from traps, freeing us from the thoughts that imprison us, right? Free yourself, leave behind negative energies, leave behind what's not serving you anymore. And then the 5 of Swords reversed here, I think that's where the communication, maybe little tiffs might come in, like I was saying before with that feminine energy. When things come up really strongly, they're emphasizing reflect and think about what the other person said when an argument comes up before you respond. That's what the 5 of Swords here reversed, because this is usually like reversed, it's like an after the battle, reflecting on what happened thing. Really focus on communication, and not only with spirituality, but also with other people. It is kind of that theme I'm seeing popping up in pretty much every section here, pile 3s. Because, and also, here's another thing. Not just for yourself, but also reflect on the way that they react to things, because that will also help cull out energy that's not serving you anymore, moving past things, leaving things in the past that don't serve us anymore, freeing ourselves, right? Freeing us from prisons of words and thoughts, right? Let's say like you give someone a valid criticism and they get all huffy about it, that is just a sign to you that that person is not, I mean, you can forgive them technically if they're willing to change and maybe, kind of look at the criticism a little bit, but see how they react too. That's another indicator here of people to keep in your life, or people to call out here. How do they react when you have honest criticism? So not only just, like we said before, valid criticism of yourself is one aspect to kind of look forward to, but also like how other people react in communication. So yeah, communication is a really big theme I'm seeing here this year for you, pile 3s. Yeah, but in general, think about how you respond to the way people say things, or how people say things. leave behind things in the past that aren't serving you anymore. Free yourself from things that are chaining you down. And then, yeah, especially there's a lot of energy here with a feminine energy and the way that you communicate with this feminine figure that popped up quite a lot in your reading, okay? So pile number 3 is, I hope that reading was helpful for you as always. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your year, and a wonderful 2024, and I hope to see you in the next video.